Ladies and gentlemen of the Nightmares podcast, I would like to welcome you to another great show. Today we are going to be talking about the Back for Blood beta. So I hope you all are nice in your little comfy seats and we can get started. I am your host, Zack, and today we are back with the Victor Melendez. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty hype
All
right now.
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah.
Oh, shit.
In the booth, we got Mark, the Italian Job Conway. How are you?
Do you need to let that fucking nickname go, bro? Because otherwise I'm going to start fucking around with you. I'm going to fuck up your Z-Man nickname every time I
You
host.
do every time you try. Don't even go there.
And I'm going to fuck it up on purpose this time. Because every other time was an accident. And this time I'm going to do it on purpose.
Accident, my ass. Colin, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you, Zack?
Alright, sweet. Alright, so yeah, the Back for Blood beta. I tried it out this previous weekend, and I gotta say it was definitely a lot more entertaining than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be this basic horde shooter, just kind of like your basic Left 4 Dead clone or something like that. And I gotta say it's a little, it very much is a Left 4 Dead, like spiritual successor, clone, whatever you want to call it. Like you could definitely see the elements in there, but I say as long as you got a group of friends to play with, it absolutely can be fun. I think it's a little bit more strategic than Left 4 Dead because some of the new elements they added. Each gun has its own ammo type now. So you got your assault rifles, your sniper rifles, your handguns, and your shotguns. If you pick that up, you got to kind of like, all right, I'm going assault rifles. You can go snipers. You can go shotguns, so on and so forth. You got to kind of plan that shit out. Whereas in the original Left 4 Dead, it's like you grab your gun and you just, there's a box of ammo right there. You kind of grab it and go. I don't know. It's an interesting concept, but it's nice, I guess.
So it's a force squad base where someone has to be the sniper and the other people have to be this?
Yeah, because another thing is ammo is very limited in this game. So there's plenty of like times where I've run out of ammo and it's just like fuck. Because one of the first runs me and my buddy did, we both grabbed assault rifles, and because he's a nimble little shit and doesn't like to play with the team, he's like, I'm grabbing the ammo. Like, you little prick. So
Zach, you're missing the most important part, brother. Let's Play a Game is back, man.
yeah, it's back. Enjoy the show. Yeah, if you want to see my gameplay for it, there's a few episodes up back there where I played the beta with a few of my buddies. Adam's the little jerk that just likes to run ahead of the team and just try to be, I'm going to be a one-man army. Likes to run in front of the bullets, too, and then complain about it later.
Dude, is he also the one that fucked with the birds?
Yes.
Dude, the fucking birds, man. Even I know to stay away from the damn birds.
Yeah. Birds are a bitch in this game.
So there is friendly fire and
Oh,
things
yeah.
of that nature?
So one thing we did. So after I did my first gameplay scenario that I uploaded, me and my buddy, we decided to get on while I was uploading and everything, and we tried playing it on the easiest difficulty. Friendly fire is not really a problem on that, but also the game is incredibly easy and boring at that point. So it really does feel like the basic, all right, move, shoot, nah. But if you put it on the next difficulty, which I guess is technically hard mode for this one or whatever, the survival horror really pumps up and you're definitely more like into the game. And when you got a full squad with your buddies, it's actually a lot more entertaining because you got to coordinate and be on your shit. So I do like that, but if you're playing with randoms, you're probably gonna be in for a bad time.
Playing with fucking noobs.
Don't do that. So yeah, there definitely is a difficulty gap as soon as you like raise the bar or whatnot, but I do recommend playing on that difficulty because otherwise it's just super fucking boring. So,
dude, it reminded me, like, so I have a history with Left 4 Dead, so I've been playing it for a long time. I had a bunch of, like...
You played it on Xbox, I assume?
I did. I had a fucking blast playing it. I think it's a tremendously fun game, especially all the different, having the regular hordes and then having the creative monsters, the witch, the boomers, the hunters, all that great stuff. I'll never forget this. So I was playing with an old friend, Jimmy, and he decided it would be a good idea. It was in the warehouse level with the two different levels. And we had a split screen going. And he said, I'm going to take out that witch with a fucking Molotov. I'm like, yay! So he's like, you can literally see my screen. I wish I recorded this. You can literally see my screen. I'm looking up at I'm downstairs and I'm looking up at the gangway. And you can see him in the dark creeping up on a witch with the Molotov cocktail. Throws the Molotov cocktail, and then you see a burst of flames. And then if you cut to my screen, all you see is literally him just running away from a fucking witch that's on fire. And he's just like, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Just hilarious part is he didn't even realize he got like 2 laps around and he finally he didn't even realize that the witch was dead like 1 lap ago. He kept fucking running until finally he's like oh wait, she's dead. Cool.
Dude, that's one thing I will say this game is currently lacking right now. They don't have a witch-like character, which is a little disappointing. So a lot of the special infected, one of my biggest problem with them is they all kind of look very similar to the same to each other. I guess as you play, they kind of become a little bit more unique, but they just don't feel all that, interesting. So far, at least from what my understanding, this game's equivalent to the tank, at least from what I've seen so far, is this tall, long guy. And he has this very large, slinky arm that he just kind of bashes into you and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's all right and interesting, but I'm kind of like, eh. And then there's 2 big, fat, chubby guys, and I think they're boomers. I don't know if they're boomers. They look the same, but there's also 2 different variants by the looks of it. I'm not entirely sure.
Does one have a very unique ability compared to the other one?
No, they just run towards you and explode or spit acid at you from a distance. But they all do explode, and it's kind of I don't really know. It's they look kind of cool, but it's...
I think that's a waste of a design to have such a huge round target and then just have it run towards you, unless it's a bit like the tank where it can take some bullet sponge before it explodes, because honestly, if you're gonna have something that's gonna come at you and explode, that's definitely something more of a what is that one? Serious Sam.
Oh, the fucking cannonball kamikaze dudes who scream at... I fucking love those dudes. But, so here's something that might make that character a bit more interesting. So in this game, there's a card system. So at the beginning of every game, you can choose cards, and they kind of give you, buffs and everything like that. So, extra ammo, extra abilities, extra armor, and all that shit. And you can unlock more cards as the game progresses. I'm sure that's going to be a huge in-depth system in the full game. But at the same time, when you start the level... Enemies also get, there's these things called corrupt cards, and they give enemies boosts and stuff like that. So the level we were playing and having a fuck ton of trouble on yesterday, they had, 5 fucking booster cards. Armors had, enemy and stuff like that. And you could see the armor on these enemies, which is kind of cool. And you gotta, shoot it off and shit like that. So it does add more layers of depth to it. But... I don't know, just from a design standpoint, just looking design and everything, I'm just not a big fan of the way a lot of these monsters look. It's just kind of boring.
They remind me of the new enemy in Gears, the Hive.
Yeah,
where
I could see that.
It's just, all it is just orange or red infection bubble things. Obviously in Gears it's crystals, but for Back 4 Blood it's more... skin pulse,
the
right?
pustules, and those are the weak points you gotta shoot and everything like that to take these guys down. So it's they're not terrible designs or anything like that, but to me they're just not very unique or appealing. So
I would definitely go out on the limb and say it's I never really liked that design, even when they first showcased it and whatnot.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed because it just looks so generic.
Agreed. And I remember when I first saw the reveal for this game, I was looking at it, the CGI trailer, I'm just like, this is kind of ridiculous. But when they showed gameplay, I'm like, the zombies look stupid because the zombies are just kind of running past. I'm like, all right, so I was worried that the AI was just going to be really stupid. That's not the case, thankfully. I will say the AI is fucking smart. Those zombies chase you down and will not let you go. And because you have a stamina bar in this, that makes things kind of complicated. You can't just run away because, well, you're going to run out of stamina and you're fucked. And if you run out of stamina, meleeing becomes a problem. And, oh, that's another thing. Melee weapons, useless. Don't use them. Get a Glock, get a double-barrel shotgun, and work with that. I think the pistols are definitely the better way to go for secondary, but melee, it's a waste of time. Don't fucking bother. Yeah.
So... Because before in the original Left 4 Dead games, the melee weapons were used for stuns or even neat little decapitation, or at least you had gib opportunities.
Oh yeah,
you know,
especially in Left 4 Dead 2, I went melee almost always primarily. Whenever special infected would come, I'd always have a gun as a backup and whatnot, because melee against special infected, not a good idea. But yeah, against the basic hordes and stuff like that, I'd chop through them with a fucking katana, and if I could get a chainsaw, I'd go nuts with them. This game, so far there's only 3 melee weapons that we found. There's a machete, god awful. Spike bag, god awful. Fire axe, apparently useful, but still wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't remember doing a lot of melee shit in Left 4 Dead. Like, I was almost always guns. The, you know, and a lot of, you know, guns and explosions and a lot of fuckery. Like, I mean, you know, like one of my favorite things to do, and I don't know why I'm just thinking about this now, but like right before the fucking safe room, like there was almost always like one of the like the car alarm shits. Like, so what I would do is I would fucking like all my team is already in the safe house. I would run out and I would just shoot the car and then wait for the fucking horde and then let the horde chase me into the fucking room. And I'm like,
make your shit over dramatic.
How fast can I run?
So for me personally, if I have the option to go melee in a game, I will almost always take it because I like melee personally. It's just kind of a more personal form of combat and I like it. And especially in Left 4 Dead 2 because it's like, it's more graphic and violent. And that's something I love, especially since they have like GIF systems and everything like that. The gore was way more detailed. I'm like, yeah, I want to go fucking melee and shit. This is fucking awesome.
And I think it's great in Left 4 Dead 2. The reason so is because they primarily focused on it. And that's why it is what it is.
It's great. So here's something about Left 4 Dead versus this game that I think this game lacks. Left 4 Dead definitely has a style and a very good appeal to it, whereas this game, it just kind of feels like your basic everyday cheesy character, cartoonish like horde shooter, I guess. Like,
well, there is another kind of horde shooter. It was some type of vampire ones. I don't remember if you remember seeing that for E3, but it was another group-based element squad where each character has their own unique thing, and that seems to be kind of the trend for a lot of co-op horde modes.
Yeah.
In this nature, because everybody's so used to the whole Valorant, Overwatch, that people just want dedicated classes.
Yeah.
And then actually work as a unit instead of, like Call of Duty Warzone. You get what you get.
Yeah. And that's actually one thing I will give this game. So even though I'm not a fan of like the over like colorful cheesy nature of the characters, each character does have their own like unique buffs and stuff like that. So one character, there's an army veteran. He's good at like shooting and everything like that and gives your team like a shooting buff or whatnot. There's this character called Mama, and so you have lives in the game. If you go down, every character on your team gets an extra life and whatnot. So that's also cool. Another character, extra agile ability. So I do think it's nice that they give you a reason to pick these characters. Just me on a personal level, I think the looks of most of them is just like, I'm just not a fan of that cartoony type thing. I like either more normal or, of course, dark, brooding, and awesome. So, but also on the topic of Warzone, so in Left 4 Dead, when you got your guns, you got your guns. They were set, they were the way they were. But in this game, you find your guns, they have like the color tier level like in Borderlands.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like they got white,
system.
blue, purple, orange, and whatnot. And then they also have attachments you can find to kind of upgrade them. Like, and there's also like this orange box where you can buy like random upgrades for like your weapons and stuff like that that'll appear at the beginning of every safe room and all that. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not against it, but I'm also just kind of like, I don't know if it really does anything for me. It's a nice little bit more layer of depth. But when I get a fucking shotgun and it comes with a fucking ACOG scope that can snipe across, I'm like, I'm using a shotgun. Why the fuck is there a sniper scope on this fucking thing? Who thought this was a good idea? Seriously. And you can't take attachments off. So if you want that shotgun that's really fucking strong, the only way to replace that scope is if you're lucky enough to find another scope or a scope is available in the shop to buy it and replace. I'm like,
you can't remove it?
Nope, you can't just remove you can't remove attachments from your gun. You have to you either have to get a new gun or replace the attachment.
That's so weird, because most games, they would I don't know, at least give you some sort of an option to remove it.
I agree, but this game they don't, and I think that's kind of a bad idea, because like I said, if I have the option to buy a really good shotgun or a pistol, I don't want a sniper scope on my shotgun or my pistol.
This is the reason why I love weapons modifications in Fallout series, and then also Hitman Blood Money specifically, where you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
There are more games than Blood Money that have weapon modifications, Mark.
Opposed to the new fucking way that's just fucking stupid. It's a point system to get your upgrades, opposed to just buying it with cash. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Oh, you need this like little challenge thing in order to get a fucking sniper rifle and everything else with your little case. No, bitch, I want to pay for it. Give me my fucking money and let me buy my goddamn gun. You fucks. Dude, don't get me started on the fucking Hitman series. Like, it's,
He's not salty at all.
Dude.
Well, you want to talk about the Xenomorph? What is it called?
Aliens Fire Team? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, but, I mean, I don't know what to think of it. It's an Aliens horde shooter, 3-player co-op, and, I mean, that could be cool. Like,
it's 3-player?
Yeah, it's 3-player. That's weird. I know. That's what I say.
That's another trend that's happening too.
You know what? Here's the thing. I am
3-player co-op.
fine with
I wonder why.
For the longest fucking time, it was just me, my buddy Ian, and my buddy Abe. We can never find a fourth, no matter how hard we tried. So it's just like 3 players. Fuck it. We're good with that. We don't need to worry about another player being required for that shit because it's like playing with randoms. Oh my god, fucking nightmare. So.
Well, even then, they should at least let you have the option to play with either 4, 3, or 2 people. You know, you don't the idea of not being able to start the game because you don't have the required amount of players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that shit always annoyed me. That's why it's like whenever because it's the requirement thing that always fucked us, and it just turned us off of a whole bunch of shit. It's just like, well, it's just us 3 and. Trying to find a fourth has been the biggest pain in the ass, so we're like, fuck it, just move on.
Yeah, that was always a problem for me, man, back in the day when I was playing. Luckily we never had that issue because we always played Halo. And Halo just let you do, pretty much
Halo has matchmaking.
Yeah, pretty much, and that was, and those were in the days of the LAN party days. Where we bring over to multiple Xboxes and everything else and have the Ethernet cord. I learned what Ethernet was very early on. But yeah, because it was normally, if it wasn't a fucking sleepover, like it was just the three of us. It was my buddy Chris and Jeff and myself, and then that was it. So we needed, I'm glad that Halo just let us do whatever the fuck you wanted to do. You had Team Slayer, but you also had free for all, which it was great. I think Halo had a good thing going with all the different games, like I think free for all and Team Slayer and Juggernaut, Team Slayer. God, that guy's voice is fucking amazing.
He's still going.
Yeah, good thing he's still around.
I'm just like, shit, man. Yeah. 20 years later, he's still fucking going strong.
Oh, wait. Did you hear about that? That supposedly for Halo Infinite, they're going to bring him back. Yeah. Because I didn't know that in Halo 5, I believe it was, where they got rid of him and they used another announcer.
That was a bad idea.
I bet people fucking rioted.
There was a lot of things people hated about 5 for good reason.
There's just some things in life, man, that you're just not gonna replace.
5 is the only one I still haven't played. It's the only one not on PC, and you know what? At this point, I'm like, I don't fucking care. That game just, I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth it. But yeah, Back 4 Blood. Did the game look interesting to you guys at all? Like, is it something you'd try, play, buy day one? Because that's another thing to take into consideration these days.
Like, not day one, but, I would give it a whirl. Being such a fan for Left 4 Dead, I think watching it on Let's Play a Game was kind of like, I was like, this is a borderline of a... I told this before the podcast. It's like, it's a borderline ripoff versus homage to Left 4 Dead. And it has pretty much the same... It's the exact same format. The exact same format, exact same, kind of setup, a few minor changes. I imagine if Left 4 Dead was still going on, today, it would probably look like this. So yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. I play it. I remember enjoying Left 4 Dead, but I also didn't spend a lot of time with it. It was one of those things that would pop in and like, oh, hey, you want to play Left 4 Dead? Yeah, let's go, let's go play it. I have fun stories from it, but I don't have the vast emotional investment that a lot of other people do with Left 4 Dead. So I would definitely check this out, but it's kind of a like Brandon with sitcoms, if it's on, I won't turn it off, but I'm not gonna, probably won't go out of my way to go find it.
Makes sense. Victor, what do you think?
I'm more curious as to, because what you were describing earlier about the booster packs, so I wonder if that's what's gonna help increase its replay value.
Yeah.
Since that's kind of another trend that's going on in gaming, where it's all about loot boxes and booster packs here and there. just basically more RNG stuff to keep the game as fresh as possible. Because if it's always completely random, you're never gonna supposedly
Play the same thing twice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2 notes on that. One, and this is a concern in the community. So this is made by the original Left 4 Dead development team, supposedly, or at least company-wide or whatever. But this is also the same guys who made Evolve, which was one of the most biggest microtransaction-ridden hell games in existence. So what people are thinking is, these booster packs, they're going to use that as a way to charge money for people, like to people, after the game is released. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't read any articles or anything like that. It's just a theory, and I don't know.
EA has no idea the Pandora's box that they fucking opened with all this shit.
Dude, this was a problem way before EA.
I know, but like
Activision, but there's so many people to blame for this dumb shit.
But I mean, EA though, like, made it mainstream. Like, you know, they didn't invent it, but they really made it mainstream among a lot of fucking people. And it's just become a, you know, oh, you're $60. That didn't buy you the whole game. You know, you got to pay an extra $25. And you get people like Zack and me, you know, and also Victor, and then, you know, I'm assuming Colin as well. Like, we grew up when you bought the game, you bought the full fucking game. The but I bought the game. Like, why do I need to? I don't understand. Why do I need to? I have it. I have it right here. I bought it with my money. I feel like fucking Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman and everything. I have money. I bought it. I have money. Why do I need to spend more money? It makes you into a crazy person. I mean, back in the day, DLCs were supposed to be fun. Like, this was supposed to be like extra cool shit that you would pay for after the fact. Like Saints Row 2, when I bought a shark gun, and literally it shot blood at the person, and then a fucking shark came up and grabbed the person down. Like, that was a fun DLC that was worth every bit of money that I paid for it. I think I paid like $10 or something like for it, which is
I fucking hope you didn't.
Yeah,
for one gun, I swear to Christ.
I think it was like
it was a pack.
It was like probably a pack or whatever. But like,
I
that's
hope
the
so,
gun I remember.
because I'm like, Jesus Christ, because sometimes companies will charge an egregious amount of shit for like one dumbass item. It's
he said it was for Saints Row 2. So back in the day, DLCs were actual like
content packs and stuff like
right, because you got more than just like what was cosmetic or things of that nature.
Yeah, cosmetics used to be something we had to unlock back in our fucking day.
You had to earn that shit.
Yeah, you had to earn that flaming skull. You didn't just buy it for $20. But yeah, so.
Well, I was gonna say, since Back 4 Blood is kind of like a new territory for this company to reestablish itself and its foothold in this like new co-op horde-based type of gaming that's now going to be at least challenged with the Aliens Firefight.
Yeah, Fire Team.
Fire Team.
Yeah.
And so I would say I am ready to move on and explore all the other options and possibilities.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go hard on Aliens Fire Team, and I hope it's not like Aliens Colonial Marines and whatnot, but one thing that'll definitely separate these games from the rest, if they have a modding community on PC, these games could live forever. If not, a few months, maybe a few years, they'll be dead after that. Because, I mean, Left 4 Dead 2 is still going strong because of mods.
The modding community. They are something.
Yep. But, so yeah, final thoughts, anybody?
I might play it, I might not.
Yeah, okay, well, Mark, want to take us out?
Sure. Thank you so much for checking out the Nightmares podcast. If you could be so awesome to stab that like button, smash that subscribe, and click that little dingy bell to be notified every time we drop amazing content right here on MHN. And, of course, you can check us out on all of our social medias at, of course, YouTube, what you're watching right now, Facebook, Instagram, and
Slasher.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on the Nightmares podcast. Bye, guys.